What's up everybody, I got another great writing tip for you. This has to do with your main character, and I'm sure you've seen many movies where they always do a fake out of the main character of pretending to kill them off or putting them in dangerous, ridiculous situations that no regular character or human in real life would ever survive, but they somehow survive it and then they're just fine like nothing happened. It's just a way to take up screen time, put some action scenes for the sake of just having action scenes with no actual consequences or setups or payoffs for later. It's supposed to be suspenseful and shocking when your main character is put in some trap or is caught by the bad guys or is, caught and put in jail, but then they always escape from prison, they always get out of the trap, they always figure out to fool the bad guys and get away. That scene was meaningless. There's no scratches on the main character. It's as if the scene never happened. So then why even put in the movie? That's what I'm talking about. Don't do that. If you're gonna put your main character in danger and you know that he's not going to die, especially if this scene that happens where he's in danger is in the first act or the middle of the movie, you know he's not going to die, especially when it's already announced online that there's gonna be a sequel or there's gonna be a trilogy, so all the suspense and danger is kind of weakened and taken out of it. So here's my tip. If you're gonna put your character in danger, do it with a purpose. If he gets put in danger and he survives, fine. But he comes out of the situation mentally affected. Maybe it makes him depressed. Maybe it makes him crazy. His personality changes based on the dangerous event he was in. And he's not the same character that we started out as from this moment on. Also, if it physically weakens him, if he's caught by the bad guy, if he's arrested and put in jail and something happens where he breaks his leg, maybe it cuts him somewhere, and then later when he tries to use his gun, he can't because it hurts him. Instead of coming out perfectly fine without a scratch on him, he runs slower. And then when he has to run and catch up to save the girl at the end, he can't because he's injured from that previous scene. Maybe this scene that he's in danger now is a setup and then it payoffs later. Normally he would have easily beat up 5 bad guys, but because he was hurt mentally or physically in the scene earlier, he can only fight and beat up 2 bad guys. Here's a different option you could try for this tip. Do a plot twist where the main character gets killed off. Maybe he gets killed at the end and another actor picks up the torch and continues the series or the sequel. Maybe the whole time you were following this character, at the same time you're building another character in the same movie. You're using a side character with a subplot and you're thinking, yeah, well, he's just a side character, whatever. And then the main character gets killed off and you pick up the movie with the side character. It's a good plot twist, it's shocking, you didn't see it coming. That kind of happened in the movie Psycho, where you're following the main girl, but then she gets killed off halfway in the movie in the shower scene. And then someone else becomes the main character in the movie. So the best example I can come up with is if you ever seen World War Z. The main character was Brad Pitt. So you knew that nothing was going to happen to him. So the scene I'm talking about is the airplane crashing scene. Now it was supposed to be this suspenseful, scary action scene. It exploded halfway in the air, people got sucked out, and it was a horrific crash. And then the camera cuts after the crash, and guess who survived? None other than Brad Pitt and his sidekick Marine girl that he was with. Now when I was watching the scene, it was cool to see visually, but I knew he was going to survive. So the suspense and danger wasn't 100% there. Now what they could have done if they had the guts, have Brad Pitt and his friend Marine girl go onto the plane and then meet up with another actor, for example Matt Damon, and he just plays like a regular guy who escaped from the zombies, and then they interact with each other. Maybe they say a couple words, or they say nothing and they just bump into each other. And then the plane crashes, Brad Pitt dies, and then the Marine girl that he's with survives, along with Matt Damon. And now the movie continues with the Marine girl and Matt Damon together, trying to figure out how to stop the zombies and find a cure. If they would have done that, nobody would have seen that coming, and it would have made the movie a million times more suspenseful and better, because the audience from that moment on would have said to themselves, nobody is safe in this movie. How about you badly hurt that character? And I'm not just talking about, oh, he sprains an ankle, he breaks a leg. He seriously gets damaged. Maybe he becomes paralyzed. Maybe he's put into a coma, and then it's only at the end that he comes out of the coma. With this writing tip, you kind of have to have guts to put your character through that type of danger and for them to not come out perfect on the other side. Here's an example, like in Luke in Star Wars. Remember when Luke gets his hand chopped off? That's a pretty serious injury. Or how about Darth Vader? Darth Vader loses all of his limbs, he gets burned alive, but he survives. And they make 3 prequels out of his character. Here's a good example of when movies use the main character fake out, and I hate it. For example, in horror movies, specifically in slashers, like in Halloween with Michael Myers. You know Michael Myers is invincible. You know he's not gonna die, because there's 4,000 sequels that are still gonna come out. Even in the new Halloween reboots where he gets hit by a car, but then he gets up again. He gets shot 1,000,000 times, but then he gets up again. He gets blown up, he gets burned alive, but you know he's still going to come back. And that is the fault of the screenplay writer for not coming up with more villains that you're able to wound and hurt seriously or kill off. Only came up with Michael Myers, and there's nothing they can do. They wrote themselves in a corner, and it just takes the suspense and the horror and the danger away from the character. At least I think so. So don't be afraid to create multiple villains or multiple characters and kill them off or seriously injure them, so you don't get stuck in a bubble and only have one main character to worry about, and he can't break a nail, nothing bad can happen to him, because then you have no franchise. And also in superhero movies, you know Superman's not gonna die, or if he is, they don't have the guts to keep him dead, they're gonna bring him back. Or for example, in the Marvel movies, it took 10 years before they finally killed someone off. But if you don't figure out a way how to make your superheroes flawed enough, to make them relatable enough, to make you think, well, maybe he's gonna get killed, or maybe he's not gonna come out of this situation without a scratch. Maybe he's gonna come out mentally affected for later on. He's gonna come out, even though he's invincible, maybe for this split second, he's not 100% invincible. That's the point of this writing tip. So don't be like all the other movies with the main character fake out. And thanks for watching. Until next time, see you next video.